There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every tech. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the...
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit, we hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. But I've done what I can so far.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too.
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that Yes. Strange, isn't it? If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be based on the evidence we have gathered so far.
What? No. He is humble and kind. Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of. Anyway, should you find him...
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Good to see you again. Pretty amazing, right? I never thought I'd be able to keep this. Something about running around carrying a parcel when I'm dressed like this seems to make everyone... Guess I'll just have to switch back to my old outfit when I'm on the job. Sure thing.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself. Everything was fine when we first got married. But as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh. What happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like He was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said,
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament, and I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply... The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument, but my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little... As long as he's willing to turn over a new...
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual, but the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation...
A little confusing. More like completely mystified.
Let's try a change of scenery. And rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation... Do you have any thoughts?
Well? Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
That is the most likely conclusion based on everything we know. What started as a disagreement over the price escalated. However, in this case, only one of the parties would have started the fire. If this is indeed what happened, one fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted, and Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also, the more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no, Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some...
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.